Still be cruising when the sun goes down.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this very special three-part podcast merged into one. If you want more context as to exactly what we're talking about, there are two things you're going to want to check out. First, search on YouTube, Slam and Jam CAW. That's Wade Needham's full-on CAW promotion that he's ran for a number of years. Definitely go check out that content and give him some love over there. And also, check out the No DQ CAW Vault channel, where you will find all No DQ CAW related content. You could also follow Wade at Ring Scoops on Twitter and on YouTube, and follow his assorted links on link.tree. Thank you very much again for Wade Needham, the man, the myth, the legend, for being a part of this podcast special. We're back, baby.
What happens when a man with ADHD
and a man with full-blown autism start a wrestling podcast?
Insanity Works Studios
and J. Hebert Studios
proudly present Wrestling with Idiocy.
And welcome back to the Wrestling with Idiocy interview with special guest Wade Needham of Slam and Jam. How you doing tonight, good sir?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm not in the mood for a palm reading. Thank you very much.
Who better than Canyon?
Oh, I get it now. I was so confused because I thought you were going like, I thought you were trying to do Zangief, and I was like, excuse me?
Actually, I was gonna try to improv a Lanny Poffo poem, but it just kind of went off the rails.
That's an impossible feat.
That is just inviting yourself to disaster.
I should have asked my brother what he thought, because he would never ask me.
By the way, now not only is the number one creator of WIW here, we also got the other creator who also started at the very beginning.
I like that I like that you're attempting to run around calling me the number two.
I realized I said number one like an idiot, and I thought to myself,
"You're the
why did
shit,
I say
I tell
number
you."
one? You're the shit, I tell you.
You got no respect. You got no respect.
Because
number one.
We both started it, so there's really not.
Number one, I order you to take a number two.
Yeah. If anything, I'm the number two. I just edit the thing. Anyway.
Tonight you will face. Tonight you shall face the greatest wrestler in our company, Kung Fu Naki.
Not to be confused with one Hung Lo.
Or Hong Kong Fui.
Or his sister, Anita Beaver.
Oh my god, what a... This is off to a great start, this second part. We got Michael X on, and we are ready for more questions. I'm sure Casey's got plenty prepared here.
Yep, I'm going to try and get through 6 here today, and leave the last 5 for the next part, unless you're good for the rest of the night, Wade. I don't know what your schedule is.
As far as I know, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's freaking go. So when last we left off, we basically talked about the skeleton of forming a CAW and how the three of you kind of got into it. I should probably turn that down just in case somebody tries to call me. Give me just a moment. Silence. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay. So this time we're going to start off with, like, what makes a CAW in you guys' eyes? And we're going to start with talking about it from 2 different perspectives. First, the first one I have is, when running a CAW, what is most important to you as a creator? James, Mike, I'll start with you guys.
You want to go first on this one, James?
I think I kind of answered it a little bit. I went somewhat in depth on it on the last part when you weren't here, but if you want to give your own take, go for it. I'll let you go first.
I think it's that it just needs to be creative. That's pretty much it. That's all anybody can really ask for is just be creative. Don't do the same shit that everybody else does. Do your own thing and try something different that nobody else has tried before.
Right.
Now now obviously, longtime wrestling fans will know that's not always the easiest thing in the world to do because there's only so many things that can be done with any given form of entertainment.
Not to mention everything has been done in pro wrestling.
Yeah, so at some point you just gotta think of, okay, is there something I can do again that I can put a cool twist on and make people think?
That's
I
fair.
wouldn't say the words make people think. I think it's more of you need to find your own creative way to entertain an audience. Even if it's like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15, 20 people. You need to entertain a single individual first, and then you can entertain an audience.
Because that single individual will more likely than not tell their friends, "Hey, I found this new cool thing. Check it out."
Right. It sounds like you're describing yourself, Casey. Am I just reading it wrong?
Are you the new narcissist? Narcissus? Is that you? Lex
Check
Luger?
for that
Is
metal
that
plate
you?
in his arm.
Yeah, Casey, do you have a metal plate?
No, but I am in a wheelchair.
Ooh.
Why are you in a wheelchair?
Yeah, let's race.
What? Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's
The only
first
pla-
one down. First one
the
down
only-
the stairs wins.
Oh
The
my
Disabled
God,
and the
no.
Furious.
The only place I'm racing your ass is to the buffet, and even
No,
then, there's no
no.
point because
We
you'll win
did
every
this-
time, you fat ass.
We did this in part one.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to the buffet, baby. We got the turkey sandwiches, the mustard, the mayo, the mayonnaise. Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You know, I can understand why women don't find me or my friends attractive. In a single fucking instance. In a singular instance, I could feel the virgin pulse in my body just beat. Like I'm
Actually-
fucking
Speaking of virgins and the opposites of virgins, I got a question for all you guys out there. Who is the most successful prostitute in the world?
feeling
Vince.
Vilo.
Vince McMahon.
Nah, it's Mrs. Pac-Man because for 25 cents she ate balls until she died.
Does that mean she was the original OnlyFans model?
She was.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
She was at.
Ah!
Oh my God, that went somewhere I did not expect. Okay, Wade, anything to add? Importance to you as a creator of a CAW league?
Well, I was going to ask about clarifying that, but you just said it right there, a league. Because at first you said CAW, so I was wondering, a CAW
Yeah,
or
yeah.
a league?
Usually in these contexts, I tend to mean league. I'll try and be more clear about that as we go forward.
Oh, no, it's all good. I just want to clarify because I never did original CAWs that much. But, as far as a league, what these guys said, be original. I know, like, for me personally, I try to stay away from, like, what would be the obvious. Like, I know, like, in No DQ, when Riff was, booking his stuff, like, he was superheroes versus the supervillains, the horror guys versus the horror guys. I'm like, I don't like that. If I've got, Bruce Lee, like, Bruce Lee and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is probably the only time I think I ever did, like, your typical, like, all right, I'm going to put these two guys together that have done something.
And just see
but
what happens.
Yeah, but I wanted to like do different things. So like, if I've got Rocky Balboa, I'm not gonna put him up against Ivan Drago or Apollo.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
gonna do
people have
that.
seen that already. That's why
Exactly.
you did Mike Tyson instead. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
James
like
Bond.
that's why one of my favorite feuds that I did that lasted years in Slam and Jam that people really liked was Pac-Man versus Tommy Vercetti. It was just out there.
It was so out there. I remember this. God. I remember that. So the pay-per-view I couldn't remember in the last part too, and
Oh
I
my
distinctly
God.
remember it now. Was Domestic Disturbance, and this is
Are
when
you?
did the No DQ Slam and Jam co-op. It was called Domestic Disturbance, and that was, I believe, a match. I could be wrong. I know Oh no, it was Pac-Man and Millhouse.
Oh my God. A big yellow dot with black eyes versus Ray Liotta?
Yeah,
Ever since I
pretty much, right?
since I was a kid, I used to eat giant balls.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Oh Lord.
Perfect.
Yeah, man, this
Once
is
in a while, those gems come out, but
this is a feud I gotta see.
That was like 2006 to like 2008. I did that, I think.
I will give Aaron one credit. You talked about him doing the stereotypical superheroes, supervillains. The one thing I will give him credit for, I think his most original concept, even though it wasn't really original, it was just a way different twist to it, was his Luigi arc. I really, really enjoy that Luigi arc to this day. I think it may be his best arc.
And I want to clarify, I'm not trying to take away anything from Rift. I'm not trying to throw shade at him.
No, me neither. I'm just saying, like, I really liked that probably. So great.
I thought about that kind of stuff too back in the day. That's why, like, when I split Bart Simpson and Milhouse, and I was like, all right, I'm
Badass Bart.
Badass Bart. Somewhat the same thing with Babe Ruth in that very first year ever of Slam and Jam when I turned Babe Ruth heel and called him the Babe. I wanted to create like my version of like The Rock. So Rocky Maivia, The Rock, Babe Ruth, the Babe. And then he started his group, the Dream Team with Eminem and Badass Bart, which is another weird, odd period.
That's a great idea, though. And
man.
That's perfect.
And people loved it. People loved it when Badass Bart turned on the Babe, and I eventually rode up to that match, which ironically is, all right, think about the comparisons and the parallels, right? I just said Babe Ruth, the Babe, Rocky Maivia, and The Rock, right? And then Bart Simpson
would probably be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Was like Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the build up to their match, I used Limp Bizkit My Way.
Of course you did. Nice.
Oh, you slick bastard!
Nobody caught the connections.
Wow! Nobody caught that.
No. I think it's not even the fact that they didn't catch it. It's also like it's the parallels that let's be honest, wrestling has had for decades.
I think I just did it so subtly that nobody even saw that I was blatantly ripping off Stone Cold versus The Rock.
I was going to say, it would probably be safe to say that you did not so much take inspiration from The Rock and Stone Cold as blatantly stole.
I wouldn't call it ripping off. I call it a cultural reappropriation.
Well, I mean, those two, they weren't in a stable together and weren't turned on the other either.
Yeah.
That's true.
But I'm just saying, like, as far as like how I started to develop the characters, taking the characters from what they were in pop culture and turning them into my own characters. I kind of modeled them after The Rock and Steve Austin.
Yeah, your stuff is very original in that aspect.
I think my all-time favorite thing that I ever did was the evolution of when I brought in Clark Kent, who was teamed up with Arthur Curry.
And you turned him into Kal-El, yep.
Turned him into Kal-El, which had a hell of a heel run. And then when the Babe came back out of retirement and finally beat him for the belt after a year and a half being undefeated, I took time off with Kal-El, had him come back as Superman in my big Royal Rumble match, and go on to CAW stock to capture the belt. And the evolution was finalized from Clark Kent all the way to Superman.
I like that. You actually went from...
Now, personal curiosity on my part. When he went to Kal-El, did you happen to use, like, say, the Godfall Superman attire, or had he not gotten to that point yet?
Godfall Superman it doesn't exist yet, Case. By the time that
by the time that came out, no way. I think that was just your standard. Would that have been the standard? You correct me if I'm wrong. Would that have been the standard red and black, Wade?
The what?
Was that the outfit that Superman would wear when you turned him?
Oh, when I turned him into Kal-El?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, the inspiration I took from that, because what you referenced, I honestly, like, as much of a Superman fan as I am, I have no idea what you referenced. So that wasn't even in my mind.
Yeah, that was the MK or Injustice, whatever.
It's the comic Godfall. It's fantastic. Because I can kind of see where you're going with it, because fucking, I can't believe I'm referencing this for like probably the billionth time in my life. Smallville did roughly the same idea.
Exactly.
Way back in the day. Which is, hey, you want to turn him evil? Yeah, season 4, you want to turn him fucking evil? There, done. Just make him the Kryptonian version of himself and you're all set. Doesn't matter.
He was walking out of the barn in the opening of season 4. He heard the sound. Martha comes running out. He pushes her down and he looks at her and says, Clark's not here anymore. And the first time we ever saw him fly in the series, it was that inspired the big turn for Kal-El.
So what's the color color choice?
At the time.
Because a
Would you
lot of people,
That was like
I would
2008. I want to say it was black and gray at first.
Yeah, because that's usually what most people go with, which is like the future Superman or the Doomsday Resurrection Superman, where he's just, hey, I'm fuck off strong now. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
oh,
then,
cool, I died. I'm back.
And towards the end of the run, I started like really experimenting a little bit myself. He had a white suit with like the black logo, and then he had like real long white hair and a white goatee. And I kind of wanted to like go at the, at the very beginning of the 1976 Superman, where they showed what's his name? Fuck.
Jor-El. In the white and black with the black logo on the chest with the white outfit. Yep.
Exactly. I wanted to go that way to kind of symbolize, that was the end of Krypton. So this was going to be a symbolization of the end of Kal-El.
That's really good.
And that was a 2.5-3 year arc that I did with this character. That was a very slow burn.
And that's how it should be. Wrestling should not take about 5 minutes to get through all your story beats in about a minute. It should honestly be able to go, all right, so I got this 5-page assignment due. It's called How I Made My Character Turn Heel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and that's the thing I don't think a lot of companies understand these days. Wrestling works best outside of short attention span theater.
Agreed.
I agree. And to add to your guys' point, if this is going to be a weird analogy, but think of it as like, and Wade probably knows where I'm going to go with this as I explain it further. Think of it as like a typical essay format, English 101 type shit, where you have your beginning thesis, and then you have your body paragraphs, and say it's a 5-page paper, say it's a 10-page paper, and you have these certain bullet points that you are going to cover, and then you have your full-on conclusion to whatever story you're doing. Now think of that, and you're doing multiple essays, basically, in just a different format. That's basically what wrestling should be, a sense.
Here's the better way that I would describe it.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have just had our first instance of James completely stealing Mike's material tonight.
Did I?
I don't believe so.
Yeah. You were talking about English essays as a 5-page paper. Literally, the first thing Mike said before we got into this is, think of it as a 5-page essay due on the topic of how.
I think what I was adding to what he said originally. That's what that was.
It's whatever.
Sorry.
But what I'm trying to say is that it's not, wrestling isn't a Shakespearean play. All right, you don't need fucking Macbeth like constantly going, "Don't say my name or you'll break your leg." What you need is something going on, and you need some type of multi-purpose storyline meaning towards the middle. I would say if you're going to take any type of reference to getting all of these footnotes and things together to put them all into one massive story, and I'm a DC Comics fan, Infinite Crisis your fucking story. Go absolutely mental with it if you want.
Yeah, the Marvel movies is a good comparison too.
That's true.
You had so many different stories, and they eventually all came together, and they came together in such a subtle way.
Yeah.
And with such a massive payoff.
It's just the one issue with the Marvel films, and this is my only gripe with those, is god damn are those fucking Marvel cinematic villains just not interesting.
Yeah.
Alright, so here's what we're gonna do, true believers. We're gonna take Iron Man, but he's big, and he's scary. He's an ironmonger.
Hey, you know how like WWE in recent years they've hired like Hollywood writers and all that stuff, and a lot of old school people like Cornette and all them. They really don't like that. They just want to stick with the bubble, the wrestling shit. I could see both sides of it, but there's one person in Hollywood that's a Hollywood writer that I would love to see their vision of what a wrestling promotion could do, and that's Jon Favreau.
Yeah, actually.
Look at what he did
Yeah.
with Mandalorian.
Oh, get him and Dave Filoni to write a storyline?
Something,
they
yeah.
can-
I
they
think
can
they can
make it
come up
work.
with something good, maybe.
Oh yeah.
They
If
got a good
anybody
track record.
If anybody could, they could.
They got a good track record. That's for damn sure. Who would have thought
Yeah.
fucking Bebop from fucking Rudy would be like so successful right now, right?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so on to the second perspective. Wade, we're going to start with you on this one. When watching a CAW show, what is most important to you as a fan?
Ooh,
Production.
that's fair.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry
we
to give
got
it such a short
No, we got
answer
our
on that
voice.
one,
Nope, we got our voice clip. Great. All right, we're out.
No, I mean, I have to be very honest with you guys, and I have been very open and honest about this. As much of a creator in CAW that I've been in the last, so many years, I'm the opposite when it comes to being a viewer of it. I'm not an avid CAW watcher unless somebody's just like, hey, check this out.
Right.
Or if I have a friend that's doing it, I'll keep tabs on it and keep an eye on it and whatnot, and give some feedback. But I'm a big content creator, not just with CAW.
Right.
I have created a plethora amount of content, whether it be podcasts, my very short run of running my very own magazine in 2004. Recently, starting on July 1st, I'm launching my own card game.
Hey,
I've done,
nice.
Which,
Yeah,
congratulations again, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a fun game. I've played it with my friends, testing it out, last couple weeks, and we've had a blast with it. It's an ultimate party game. But that's the thing with me is I'm at heart I'm an entrepreneur. I've constantly got to have something that I'm doing. My mind, I'm so busy with that I honestly, unless somebody's like, yo, check this out, I honestly don't have time or even the attention span to like really go seek stuff out on my own that much.
That said, how did I reach out to you when it came to the clips of the show, or did you just find that on your own one day? Because I
honestly don't remember.
Same. Because I remember you saw it and I got your message and that you thought it was good stuff. We covered that on the last part, but I just don't remember if I just sent it to you or if somebody else told you about it, or you just happened to see it in the Instagram tags.
Let's be honest, James. It would not surprise anybody if you just said, who should see this? Wade Needham.
I honestly don't remember. I mean, I've been approached on not only by so many people, but on various different platforms. There was one random night years ago, I was playing Xbox, and all of a sudden, some guy hit me up on a DM, and he goes,
on
"Hey,
an Xbox Live DM."
Yeah, and he goes, "Yo, I see on your profile your name is Wade Needham. Are you the Wade Needham from No DQ?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You won't believe how much you've inspired me to start my own CAW league." And I'm like, "Holy shit, right on, man!" It just came out of nowhere one night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you
trust Wade. I can completely understand.
Yeah, it's weird
there are many times that I go onto the Amino app because I'm a part of a wrestling group, and I get random messages all the time of, "Hey, quick question, how do I do this?" And I'm like, "You're asking the wrong fucking person that question." I couldn't tell you.
He keeps having to redirect them to me or just be like, I can't be bothered.
No, it's from time to time, we're doing our work. We'll get the random email from somebody going, "Hey, my name is such and such. Really enjoy your show. Yada yada. I can't believe you've been working on it for as long as you have. Yada yada yada. How do I get a show from a basic 30 minutes to an 8-hour monster?" And I go, "Don't."
I got the answer for you, people. Start basic, and then you'll get there eventually.
No, just
That's
don't.
what I did. That's what I did.
No, James.
Yeah.
Don't do an 8-hour
Don't do the 8
juggernaut.
hours. Do not do
no,
the
not
8
the
hours.
8 hour. No. We're doing 2 nights going.
See, I have a short attention span, so with my own stuff, like I get mad at myself if I go longer than an hour on a show.
I feel that. For me, we're just trying to do. I think we're doing 2 hours.
We had a lot that we had to cover, and if we didn't have that 8-hour time frame, we would not have had the ability to cover what we need to.
Yeah, but I mean, and I'm not throwing shade or anything like that. I mean, to each his own with everything's. But you know, like that old saying, like, you know, you're not gonna have fun with anything unless you're gonna do something like, oh, fuck, how does it go? Like I make my content as if I was a viewer of my own content. So like if I'm doing something that I'm not liking, most likely everyone else out there that's going to watch it's not going to like it either.
Well, we definitely liked it.
Yeah. I don't think this is the exact quote, but I think this would be a good paraphrasing. Nobody ever found success doing something they didn't like.
Right.
That's a good one too. I could definitely be attached to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like so many writing classes I've ever taken, everything that every teacher has always said that it can be summed up in one thing too. That's a very consistent thing is write what you know.
Yep.
So I created what I knew I liked and how I liked it. So if I myself don't like when I do my podcasts, like back in the day, I used to do like 2-3 hour podcasts. And
we're still doing 2 or 3 hour podcasts.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not kidding. I could go through and fucking listen to like Jim Cornette talk for like 12 fucking hours. But I would never make a 12-hour podcast. Like, especially nowadays when I do solo podcasts, 30 minutes is probably the most I can do. If I have like a co-host on, we'd probably do an hour.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jim Cornette, another person I've been listening to recently, completely off topic as usual, but Eric Bischoff, 83 Weeks. Mm-hmm. It's fucking fascinating, man. It really is super fascinating to hear, like, from the horse's mouth, like, his entire rise to being the top echelon guy on WCW and taking it to where it was, and then the eventual downfall before he ended up getting fired in, 99? It's a crazy story and tale, and just even 2000 stuff. It's so fascinating to hear all of it. Like, I love hearing Eric Bischoff talk, because we never heard it from his perspective before, so I'm glad we're actually getting it.
I've never heard the Eric Bischoff podcast, but I do have to ask you this. Is Conrad part of that?
Yes. Conrad now runs 7 shows.
I probably won't listen to it then.
Why? What's bad?
I don't.
Bad?
No, I don't like Conrad. It's just the way he hosts shows. I'm not a fan of. The way that he directs a lot of things, the way he kind of changes a narrative on certain things, I don't.
I can 100% agree, but that's why I say, in spite of that, listen to 83 Weeks. In that, Bischoff literally is not a bitch, and he will go toe to toe with Conrad, including his going by Dave Meltzer's rhetoric. He'll throw it right back in his face, and I'm like, no, this is what actually happened.
All right, now let me ask you this. Now, you said the word bitch. Now, does that mean that Eric Bischoff is a bitch or not a bitch?
No, he's not a bitch. As in, he's not gonna. Yeah.
So now, when you say the word "not," does that mean that you've been down to San Diego to Sam the Cooking Guy's not tacos?
You. That's a good one.
To be fair, at least from the impression that I get, a lot of that is just him trying to have some fun with the person he's doing the show with.
I understand that. It's just all right. You said he's hosting what, 7 shows now?
Yes, he's got Bruce Pritchard, Arn Anderson, Tony Schiavone, Kurt Angle, Eric Bischoff,
Jim Ross.
Thank you.
and
Tony
now
Schiavone.
Chef. Yep, I already said
Okay.
Tony Schiavone.
Now
And
let me
now
ask-
Chef Jarrett.
Now, let me ask you this. You remember years ago, when Michael Cole was doing commentary on every single broadcast?
Yep.
Now, how annoying was that to tune in and you didn't hear any change in the voices?
You won't believe it, fans. We're doing a thing again. They're doing
Exactly.
a thing. We're doing a thing.
It's oversaturation.
Oh my.
You got your finger in too many sugar pots, and that's one of the things with Conrad too. If he was here or there on a certain podcast or another certain podcast, but not every single one of them, I'm not tuning in for him. I'm tuning in for the other person.
I agree, but that's why I tune in, because I am tuning in for the other person. I'm not really tuning in for Conrad Thompson. Not that I, no disrespect to Conrad, by the way. I'm tuning in literally to listen to JR.
You're not
or
there.
Schiavone.
Listen, you don't watch
Or
Joe
Eric.
Rogan's podcast for Joe Rogan. You're watching Joe Rogan's podcast to see who the fuck he got in this week.
But
Right,
you know what?
exactly.
Joe Rogan can be entertaining on his own several.
No, that's
moments.
fair, but he's also a stand-up comedian as well, so that makes sense.
But yeah. He's been doing this for a very, very long time.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to downplay or throw too much shade on Conrad. Like, he's just not my cup of tea. But I will give him all the credit in the world for being able to establish and get together what he's got with his ad-free shows and all that stuff. It's a very successful
nuts.
guy.
I will say that in regards to what you're saying, he probably should get like a co-host to join in with him.
Or,
Honestly.
I mean, I don't know why he has to be the voice of every single. Imagine if I had more than one podcast
I
on
think
mine,
he's
like
over-
Ring Scoops, and I was the
Right.
host of every single one. People are going to get tired of hearing my voice.
He's also probably overworking himself in a way, because like, why wouldn't you delegate your responsibilities to other people?
Yeah.
Well,
not to-
funnily enough, funny you should mention that. I watched the interview he had with Chris Van Vliet. Apparently, he does do a surprising amount of delegating, but only in the research part of making his shows.
Well, and look where that got him. A ton
That's
of
very
arguments.
time consuming, too.
Exactly. I mean, he's still doing. You got to keep in mind, he's still doing 8 podcasts a week. That's not even taking into account that he's doing a meeting with all the talent that he's got and part of the ad-free shows brand.
And
That's-
running the mortgage company after all of that.
Yeah, save with Conrad, right? That's ridiculous. He's
First family mortgage.
If I'm him, you know how many podcasts would kill for a gig like that on ad-free shows? There are tons. I can recommend tons to him.
I want
Where-
to record a disclaimer for all my podcasts now saying, hey, you want to make some money? You're going to get made with Spade.
Madewithspade.com.
Made with Spade. I love it.
Yo, you should do, here's the parody. Hey, yo, Bobby Spade here with car insurance. Bobby Spade Hells. You want a car insurance? Good car insurance? You can kiss my ass.
Are you or someone you know have a gambling addiction? Well, I'll tell you this. Fuck all the self-help things. Just roll the dice and try to see if you can do it yourself.
And the check better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Bounce like that baby that Snitsky punted in the fucking audience.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oof.
Fourth and long. Bam!
We will never escape the greatest clip in wrestling history.
Ever.
Like, never gonna happen. We'll talk
Poor
about
Kane.
it. Like, can you imagine having your entire career rolled down to, and then he punted the baby doll?
Yeah.
I think I would
That's
quit
Snitsky's
doing
career.
wrestling right after that.
I think
Snitsky's entire career,
honestly-
I feuded with Kane.
And I punted
Oh,
a
God.
baby.
honestly, I
It
feel
didn't
like
look
baby.
awkward. It looked like he's done that every day of his life, too.
yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, I feel like what the other part that made that clip what it was, the guy who ended up catching it, he actually signaled for a fair catch.
That's amazing. I have to ask now. We need to research one of these days. Was Snitsky a punter in the NFL? Because if so, that makes this story all the more funnier.
I'm waiting for the
That was
A&E
a perfect
Treasures
punt.
episode where they look after, where they find the baby.
Oh my God, they found the baby doll.
No, they should. Like A&E WWE Treasures, like that would be a great episode to track down the
That'd
baby
be
doll.
amazing. That'd be
Yes.
great.
That would pop the internet, man.
Okay. That'd be amazing.
Screw the Ultimate Warrior controversy. That's your A&E next A&E documentary.
Yeah, that
right?
episode, they can look for the baby and they can look for Mae Young's hand.
When are we gonna have the freaking segment where they just keep saying the baby like every 10 seconds?
I don't think they do the baby, because if you remember a specific Raw episode, the baby is now apparently all grown up and living on its own.
Oh, fuck?
You mean the hand?
The hand.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
where? Oh, the hand. Oh. Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
hand
you
is all
forget-
elite.
You forget that fucking WWE does. What's the word I'm looking for? Dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
And they open up the door, and this guy wearing a hand costume is just standing there with the most deadpan ass grin on his face, and he said, "Hi there, I'm Mae Young's son."
Yeah.
Michael Cole himself busts out laughing.
I would corpse too. I would corpse too in his shoes, dude.
That was, you know, he wasn't
how
laughing
much
because
do you-
he found it humorous. That was secondhand embarrassment.
Probably. Knowing Cole, he's probably had a ton of those moments. How much you want to bet that kid that was playing the hand got paid a shit ton of money to play the hand too?
Probably.
It was probably like, screw you, wrestling marks. I'm
Probably
getting
get some
paid
Eva
to
Marie
play a hand.
Eva Marie. Oh man.
Let's all
he
give
also
that
get-
guy a hand.
Does he also get
Yeah.
18 years of child support payments? Because you're because
But
you know fucking Mae Young ain't paying it.
No, he
I
gets
don't know.
stock
Maybe
options.
we have to ask. Maybe Mark Henry's paying it.
That's why he signed with Tony Khan.
Yeah, that's why he needs that child support payment.
He's finished paying the child support.
You know, like when Ric Flair signed with TNA, he got a contract with Panda instead of TNA.
Oh my god. I think that's a smart idea though. Like they should totally do that more often.
Yeah.
I think it makes more sense, isn't it? Like you have John Cena under contract with your TBS provider, right? Or Warner Media, bring him to TNT. You have him under contract. Get him over. Right?
Now that
Why not?
this show has gone completely off the rails, as per the
yeah.
usual.
Put it back on track, okay, sorry.
James, Mike, I'll throw it to you. What's most important to you as a fan when watching a CAW show?
James, you want to go first on this one, bro?
I will let you go first on that, and then I will go first on whatever the next one is.
Okay. I would honestly say just creativity.
Yep.
I don't care if it runs like shit and is being done on Raw as War. Show me something new.
Right.
Because production is important, but I need to see something new, something I can sit there and say I've never seen before.
Right.
Which I know somebody's going to sit there and say, you're asking somebody who's a wrestling fan to do something new that has never been done before.
That's
Like,
hard
I
to
know.
do.
It is hard to do. But try.
Big
Listen,
word,
I don't want
try.
to... Listen, I don't want to see, and I cannot believe I have to say this, I don't want to see a Shawn Michaels undefeated streak, okay?
Oh,
I know.
no. Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
I
But-
cannot
so-
believe that those words even exist, like, a
Yeah,
lot
right.
of the time.
I'm assuming
So-
somebody did that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
So,
want I don't... for the sake of and purposes, he's far from that, and we'll leave it in the bin.
Yeah, DM me on Instagram later.
yeah. It was-
I gotta hear this, man. I
Oh,
gotta sip some of
man.
this tea.
Oh Lord.
All I'm going
to
to say is viewer vision advised.
Yeah,
Viewer discretion advised.
Wade, I highly suggest take an aspirin pill before. I kid you not, you will get a headache
Wear some
because
fucking- wear some
neon
fucking
green
sunglasses.
barricades.
Is this thing gonna be so shocking I might walk again?
I don't think you'll walk.
I think that maybe
I
that was a
don't
shocking statement.
Try it
I
out.
don't
Try
think
it
you'll
out.
walk.
Try it out. Wait. Stand corrected. Go and watch it.
I don't know if you'll walk again, but you will definitely fall out of your wheelchair.
Ooh.
You'll be
I
doing
I like pain.
You're gonna do a papa wheelie and fucking get your front tires on the wall and just be done with the day. You're gonna be like, you know what? I have seen it all. I
Yep.
have seen nightmares. Today
I'm
is the
I'm gonna
day.
go into this thing like dude love and come out of it like mankind then, right?
Probably.
No,
if you're
you're gonna
lucky.
go. No, you're gonna go into it like Gold Dust and come out like Black Rain.
Oh.
Jeez. What about the artist formerly known as Gold Dust?
See, I will take the artist because at least I know that was a punishment. Black Rain
That's
was a
actually
fucking
true. Yeah.
Black Rain was a
love-
fucking choice.
I love when he read that little children's book at the DX pay-per-view.
That was pretty funny.
Oh, man.
I'll give him that. Okay. I will add to what Mike said. I'm not gonna go so hard on other creators like he just did, like, you know, shoot bullets and all that.
Hey, listen. I'm not going hard on other creators because it requires to be creative in order to be called a creator.
Oh, a nice one.
Get fucked.
But no, for real.
Thanks for killing my whole career, buddy.
No, but so yeah, the whole thing with CAW is, I think you want to be creative, you want to be different, you want to have something that will catch people's eye, whether that's a stage design, a set design, a ring, canvas, you know, the character design, something that will visually appeal to somebody that is literally tuning in for the first time. It could literally be as simple as a short, like, it could be a short, like, 1 minute promo, 30-second promo. It could be as long as a 5-minute promo, 2.5 minute promo, something of that nature. Something that will visually catch somebody completely off guard, and that you could show them, like, hey, this is what we're about. You know, do that. You know what I mean? Even if it's in completely low quality and that's all you can afford, because I understand times are tough in the beginning.
We were there. We were there.
I was definitely there. Mike was there with me.
We were there in the... Listen, brother. We were there in the fucking trenches, all right? We saw everything. I looked to my left and there was a Charlie. I looked to my right and there was a Charlie. I looked up and there was a Johnny, and I don't know how Johnny got there. I was spooked. I was scared. I was frightened. Nay, I was gay.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Coming out, huh? Anyway. So, yeah.
This took place in the 1890s, right?
Right, well, you know, I get dropped down and I'll get up again.
That's what they
never gonna
refer
keep
to as
it
the
down.
gay 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, you and I sync.
The guidings.
All right. Casey, your next question before we go off the rails again.
I'm just resigned to it at this point.
Oh, you got
So-
a paycheck?
I wish.
Yeah, right. Although I do get paid tomorrow, so.
Yay!
All right. So,
Up thumbs.
what are some? Yeah, right. So what are some fond memories of running your own CAW league? Mike, we'll start with you. Or sorry, James, we'll start with you.
Thanks. We'll probably alternate back and forth between Mike
Yeah.
and I. Fondest memories that I have, man, I mean, there's way too many to honestly count. I could probably recall, we'd be here all freaking day. I'll go with the basic bitch obvious one, showcasing Immortal for the first time. That was, like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, getting, along with that, probably getting our first 1,000 views on Immortal. The fact that we got to that point, you know, like, when you work so hard at something, and to see that progress come about, and I remember, like, you know, when we first printed out the business cards and we were passing them out, like, we never thought it would ever get this far. We literally passed out business cards because we wanted people to see this. And it's not like we were making money off this. We just wanted to show people the work, you know? So we're doing that.
Excuse me. I have a question for you.
Go for it.
Do you enjoy seeing digital characters beat the fuck out of each other?
Which is exactly Casey's pitch when he was passing out the business cards at both PAX East and then
Wade,
me at
Wade, I
WrestleMania
swear to God.
weekend.
Yep, Wade, I swear to God, I was just trying to be funny and sarcastic. it worked.
It worked. It
And that's
worked
why they
big.
call him Big Fred.
Blunt, honest is the key to success. As we have found out. Now,
Just don't smoke
that-
indoors.
exactly.
Only
But I
you
was,
can prevent forest fires.
Exactly. But yeah, no, my favorite moment in memory is probably showing Immortal and Gold Rush as well in the same vein. Those two events back to back were nuts. Just mainly the immediate reactions of people like in their faces, because you kind of like get a gauge, right? Like wrestling is all about audience reaction of any kind.
Yep.
It doesn't just have to be. You literally can have a crowd of 10 people. You can gauge off that slight sliver of audience, right? Like in a room, and to see the reaction of people like genuinely reacting to moments on our show,
In real time.
in real time, that was kind of what made that for me. That's probably my fondest memories, is just, people kind of just seeing that, and us actually having documentation of people like freaking out about it, like, this is awesome, like, holy crap, I didn't expect that, or uh-oh, somebody's gonna die tonight, or something like that, like, just typical, like, oh, shit's about to get real. Like, whatever emotion they were conveying, you saw it. That's probably my favorite moment of it, honestly. I know that's probably super mushy-wushy, but, like, that's really honestly what it is. Like, their immediate reaction to see that come to life was freaking cool.
Yeah. Mike?
I'm gonna go with something different.
Go for it.
What I will say is having the ability to talk to fucking Taka Michinoku.
That's fair.
That's
fair.
That's one of the cool ones.
You actually got
being
to
able
talk to fucking Taka for real?
Yeah,
for real.
Dude,
It was
fucking
probably one of the
awesome.
coolest. It's one of the coolest things that I think I've ever actually got the chance to contact an actual athlete.
We always put it in this way, right? We always have the common courtesy that if we're going to use a third party name, we always ask their permission. Like, hey, are we allowed to use you in this capacity, etc., because we're not assholes, right? Well, we try not to be assholes.
No,
that's how the whole thing started.
We're absolute assholes,
right? but we that's how the whole thing started.
We try to not be assholes. It doesn't always work out.
So if you guys aren't assholes or you are assholes, so my next question here on the Conrad experience is, what was it like to work for Big Helmet?
He was a dick.
Would that mean his name is Dick Helmet?
You guys seen Spaceballs, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. With the
There's nothing but assholes around here.
He wasn't but assholes.
He was a dickhead.
I would. Yeah. So going back to that, I contacted Taka through Twitter. Originally, did that. He didn't answer for about a week, and so I said, "Fuck it, I'll contact him via his email," which took me about a week to figure out what it was, because trying to read kanji is not fun.
Oh, it was
when you're an autistic fuck that can barely read English.
What? Yeah, because you read that 2016, and your classes were fucked too?
2016, 2015. I want to say 2015, 2016. Sent him the message, and he said, "Yeah, absolutely. If you want to go for it, who cares? Like, do what you got to do." And he just said, I'm glad that somebody actually contacted me, because I'm kind of sick of fucking these CAW leagues throwing me into things and thinking how they know my character. And I'm like, well, right. I mean, we're gonna go off of every single run that we've ever seen from you. We want to make sure that everything is accurate and shit like that. He goes, it was cool. And the thing that is probably the funniest bit is the part where he contacts me after his match with
Chris Foster.
Chris Foster. So the stipulation was, if Taka lost, he could never wrestle in the U.S. again. I get the message.
So bad.
I got the message from Taka Michinoku at fucking 8 o'clock at night, 8 or 9 o'clock at night. of you motherfuckers. And I went, what happened? What's going on? Completely forgetting that we even did the match. I'm going to be honest, because it's commentated. It was up for about a good 24 hours after that point.
This was like 2017, like very end of 2017. He was like, "You motherfuckers," and he was like, "What?" It's like if you actually had me lose, I would have had to gone through with it over going forward. And I'm like, but you didn't. I would have.
I'm so glad that
he
would have agreed. I'm so glad that he agreed in the fact of I will maintain kayfabe because at least you guys are attempting to do kayfabe.
Right.
And he's like, thank you.
That was cool. But he was pissed, and we were like, but you won though. And he was like, yeah. And he's like, did you like your match? And he's like,
yeah, it was pretty lit.
It was pretty freaking cool. I mean, he didn't say lit because he's not a fucking millennial like we are.
Yeah, right.
We're fucking trash.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't hear you over my Gen Z status.
Yeah, true. But
hey, by definition, I'm a millennial, but I'm more of a Gen X. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, fair. So
yeah, full-blooded millennial right here.
Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm in between.
What year were you guys born?
I'm 95. Mike's 96.
I'm 90.
83.
Well, there you go.
That's why I'm like borderline. Like my older brothers were born in the 70s, grew up with their influence. That's why I definitely Gen Z because a lot of millennial shit I don't get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Trust us.
Trust me. We wrong group.
Trust me. We millennials are pretty messed up.
Yeah.
Tide Pods.
I mean. Gen Z, I would say make a Gen Z group in the WWE, but the problem is they'd probably just TikTok the whole time. And
the guys running the companies wouldn't understand the characters because it's nowhere near anything they know anything about.
Yeah,
exactly.
They probably look at the character and it's like, you know that TikTok thing? Yeah. Hey, can you TikTok? Can you TikTok for us?
Yo, you got Tic Tacs?
That's like if I ran an aerobics class, like that ain't gonna work.
Right.
On 2 counts.
like a friggin' group of lepers judging a beauty contest. Move too far one way and it all falls apart.
Don't you fucking dare! Don't you dare talk about Tom like that. He has many things, but an ugly leper is not one of them. He is a beautiful man, and he should have your fucking respect.
Are you talking about Tom the cat from Tom and Jerry?
No, I made up a name. Sometimes you just gotta make up a name.
I just heard Tom.
Tom and Jerry. I gotta say, those were some of my favorite CAWs to make in the video game was Tom and Jerry.
That is fair. Speaking of your CAW, I think you're the last one that has to answer the question.
Yes. Fondest memories of running your own CAW league, Mr. Needham.
Very honestly, probably the friendships I made out of it, to be honest. At the very core of like my online presence when I started my website for the first time back in 2000.
This would have been Ring Scoops?
No, I didn't start using the Ring Scoops name. The first time I ever used the Ring Scoops name was 2004 for about a month or two, but then I've been using it consistently since the end of 2009. Back when I started my website, it was called Real Life Wrestling. It was on GeoCities and Angel Fire and all that stuff.
Right.
The very first thing, my mission statement at the time was this: find like-minded friends to geek out about wrestling together.
Yep.
It wasn't to make money. It wasn't to get a pop. It wasn't none of that stuff. I wanted to make friends because at that time in my life, it was about a year after I had my back surgery. I was homeschooled, and I didn't get out often. So I was like, fuck, I got this thing called the internet now for the first time. I was late to the game on the internet. 2000, I got internet. I'm like, I'm going to try to reach out and touch somebody. Not that way, but
you should have tried to reach out and crush somebody.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, I want to make some friends. And so I got into like the AOL chat rooms and that kind of stuff. And then some people were like throwing links out to certain websites like Wrestling Planet back in the day and WrestleZone and a lot of these. And Red Hot Divas.
Red Hot Divas. Jesus, I'm feeling old just hearing these websites. Man.
Yeah, dude, being 16, 17 years old going Red Hot Divas, I'm like, this is the fucking greatest website in the world, And so I got in contact with, the guy that ran it, and that's where I started my writing career, being a columnist there in the summer of 2000, and everything started going on. And my site started picking up because I started throwing, links out there and whatnot. And I just started making friends like crazy. And then, of course, when CAW happened, my God, that big boom.
Blew up.
In 2004, dude, that was such a great year for a lot of things. And being on the No DQ forums and all that stuff, and so many people were like, dude, the CAW thing is badass. On one hand, you got people that were just viewers. Then there was the other people that were like, I've got, the equipment to do this myself. I'm going to do it too. Then you start watching some other stuff. They're watching your stuff. You're like, dude, I like what you're doing. Oh, that's cool. I like what you're doing too. Then you start collaborating. You're helping each other out. You're geeking out over the same shit. And over the course of 21 years of me doing a lot of this stuff, that's always been at the heart of my stuff. I mean, shit, like what we're doing right now, right? Doing the show, we're all geeking out about the same shit.
Yeah.
That right there is my all-time favorite. I get a fucking high off of this shit, what we're doing right now.
That makes sense.
It's infectious.
I love it. I love. You know what? You
can also say that you're a fucking junkie, but I mean,
that's true. I mean, you're not wrong, Mike. I mean,
competition is my addiction.
Yes.
If I don't have it in my blood, I will murder again. Oh, Jesus, calm down.
Wait, you've murdered before, Mike? Oh, wait, yeah, Mark Young. Immortal. Never mind.
Those are questions you need answers to.
I was going to say, why do you ask questions to which you already know the answers?
I mean, anytime Mike says something, before asking the question, just say to yourself, yes.
Ask yourself a question. Have you ever looked at a man and said, no? Then you're halfway there.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
Oh my God, Airplane.
Nice one. I wasn't prepared for that. There goes
you got that, right?
Surely you cannot be. Surely you cannot be.
I got that. And don't call me Shirley.
Anyway.
God, freaking Leslie Nielsen, R.I.P.
I agree. I would agree with Wade. That would probably be my second thing, as well. I like the community aspect of that.
Yeah, it is intoxicating. It is kind of a high in its own right. But with the highs that we experience are always attached to the inevitable subsequent lows.
Oh no.
And thus, we have to turn to kind of the dark side of the computer screen, if you will.
Dark side of CAW on
the
Vice.
Dark. Oh, I was just thinking the same thing, Wade. I was like, "Hey, Vice, where you at?"
I'm so glad.
Today the part of Vice.
I hope that the first clip is Casey getting fucking drunk while watching AEW and talking nonsense.
Oh my God!
Just imagine you got like Jim Cornette's being interviewed for it. And he goes, "Well, goddamn, this one guy says this is part of my roster, and the other guy says he's part of mine. It's a fucking video game, motherfuckers."
Yeah, probably. No, let me explain something to you, Wade. Ready? This was Casey at Full Gear. The FTR win the tag team titles. I said to Casey, that's the Young Bucks, Casey. He's like, same thing. I'm like, Casey, how fucking much have you had to drink that you're confusing FTR with the Young Bucks? One, wow. 2 are bald and 2 have long hair. I mean, I know one's balding, but he ain't full bald yet. I mean, give me a break.
He's got like the Shawn Michaels balding going on.
Well, not anymore. Right? He got that Bosley treatment. Anyway.
Yeah, that's another thing that happens to me when I get drunk. My brain starts running too fast for my mouth.
Oh,
What,
so
what's
you're
the
constantly fucking drunk, Casey?
Yeah, I was about to say, what the
How
hell
many?
is the difference?
No. If Wade doesn't know, Wade needs to know.
Oh,
This
God,
stuttering, this fucking stuttering prick. Okay. Constantly. He turns 31 immediately. The first fucking day that he hits 31, Can I get what?
No, so this is his typical thing. We were at a restaurant. There's a black waitress coming up. By the way, smoking. I'll say it. I don't care. Smoking. Okay.
Bombs.
The Bobby
No,
Spade.
she's no grenade.
Okay?
I jump it.
The nuclear, like as in atomic. Brilliant. Okay, just brilliant.
She could peel my skin any day.
I
you
go
know
with
what
the
I mean?
Bobby Spade treatment of the big black ace instead of the blackberry. Okay, that's the
What
treatment
was
of
she on the
those.
Clydesdale scale?
Oh man, like past it. She was dude, this perfect kind of waitress. I'm not even joking. She comes up to our table. Like we're not like. It's the funniest thing because we're all thinking it in some regard, right? And by the way, we've told this story to our. If any one of us has a significant other, they don't care. But we told the story already. She's there. We're getting food. She's about to take her order. Casey goes first, and Casey
This
goes.
is for drinks, and this is for drinks, mind you. We haven't even put in our order for food yet.
Hey, can you please get me a that? Yeah. And he goes cross-eyed, and because he went, yeah, his freaking head looks like it's staring directly at her chest, and Mike and I died. Like right in front. The waitress literally is pissing herself laughing because it happened too. This was gold, comedy gold. You will never ever have that duplicated, but that's.
That will never be duplicated.
I'm okay with that because Jesus Christ, I don't need another day of Casey just speaking anything but the English fucking language.
He'll just go, dude. He'll go into freaking gibberish territory at this point. Anyway, I swear there was a point to why we were saying that. I don't know now. So just in case he asks the next question.
So,
The darkest days.
I
Oh,
gotta
the
go
dark
back
side
just
of the
a little
ring.
bit,
Yeah,
though.
thank you. Dark side of the
Hold on,
thing.
I gotta go back like 4 steps back real quick. I just gotta say this, man, because I'm still popping from this shit.
Go.
Props on the fucking Bosley fucking reference, man.
Thank you.
I'm a big sucker for like extremely obscure pop culture references.
I mean, I was about to say like if there's a way where I can fit that in, I will fit that in, and I found it a way.
That should be the next match at like a fucking CAW event. It's fucking Cy Sterling versus Bosley.
Yes, do it. Have
That
Billy Mays be the special guest referee.
I love it. Book it, damn it.
And the men's warehouse guy is the fucking ring announcer.
Do it.
You'll guarantee it.
Book it, damn it.
Anthony Sullivan is your ring announcer. Hi, Anthony Sullivan here to announce tonight's matchup.
And our sponsor tonight, Saved by Conrad.
Saved with Conrad.
It all ties in, folks. Anyway,
It all ties in. We talked about the highs. Now we got to talk about the lows.
You could tell we don't want to talk about the lows with how much we're deviating from the lows.
Yeah, right.
My life is fucking low.
Yeah, same.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right, boys, let's get this over with. Wade, we'll start with you. What are some struggles of running a CAW league?
I think there's 2 sides of that. I think one, there's with the practical use of running a league, and then there's the side effects of that, which is like, you know, the interactions with certain fandom. The first part with the, you know, practical putting it all together and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the obvious thing, sometimes technology doesn't want to work with you, you know, sometimes you will open up your editor and something's messing up, or
Preach.
back in the day, you get the blue screen of death and you're like, shit, what do I do now?
That's happened to me twice.
You record the best match you've ever recorded, and it's gone the next day. You turn your computer on. Like, what happened there? That kind of stuff. That sucks. And then on the other side, with like the fandom stuff, as like before, I said the core of why I do a lot of things I do is to make friends and to geek out about a lot of common interest and shit like that. But as far as the lows go, there is a 300 or 180 fucking degree turn on that. There are people that are obsessive. There are people, I've had people message me every 5 minutes for like a week, and they're just harping on me on certain things. I'm not going to say his name, but there's been a person recently that anytime I get on
Shut up, Mike.
Discord or a stream or I'll post something on social media, I get a DM from them, and they're asking me and they're referencing one of the most weirdest, minute thing, like, "Hey, do you remember when you said this on No DQ Pacific?" And I'm like, no,
you talked
I don't.
about this. You talked about this.
Did I?
Yeah, you said this on part 1. I didn't know that he was being obsessive about it. We've had those moments as well a couple times. I know how this feels.
Okay, I don't mind if somebody hits me up and they're like, "Yo, like, remember that font you made?" Like, all right, cool, I get that. We'll geek out a little bit about that. But when it's like,
funny. Yeah.
Dude, like this, there's this one individual who will hijack my Twitch stream chats, talking about the most trivial fucking things on No DQ CAW. And I'm like, all right, it's kind of cool, man. But like, we just spent 2 hours talking about like one sentence I said in commentary in like 2005. Like, to me, that's not fun. You're taking the fun out of it, There's obviously been some people that have like, for some fucking reason, they've had a grudge against me, so they just start smear campaign shit.
Right.
I've dealt with that a lot. People just come up with some weird shit out of their ass and post online about me.
You may not believe this, but I've been there as well. The smear campaign. Mike knows what I'm probably vaguely referring to. I've had my name smeared by, I won't mention his name, but a Canadian, will say, and we'll leave it at that. And it was not a fun time.
It's
bad.
definitely not. It's definitely not fun. It takes a lot of fun out of it. That somebody would, have not only like have the wherewithal to even like want to do that to somebody else, but to be able to spend that much time too dedicated to trying to grieve somebody like that online. That just takes a whole different level of insanity, in my opinion. And for those people out there that do that, like, I wish they would get help. I wish they could find some happiness in their life. I'm not going to wish harm on them. I want them to be as happy as we all are right now.
Right.
Because I think every single person on this planet deserves fucking happiness.
Yeah.
So that's one of the dark things for me.
Yeah, it's the toxicity when it comes to the wrestling fandom as a whole
it's fucking real.
It's not just wrestling fandom. I was on
it's
Zelda
every
community.
fandom. It's every fandom. Yeah.
Years ago, I was really heavily involved for a short period of time in a Zelda community. And I saw
that was your first
bullying.
mistake. That was your first mistake, Wade.
Well, I guess so.
I've seen some shit in Zelda communities. It's not fun at all. Holy fuck.
Yeah. I've so many different communities. It just happens. It's not a wrestling thing. It's just a life thing.
Worldwide epidemic with social media. It's just and the problem with it is, I feel like that in a very weird way, and I've said this. I'm probably gonna say it like a couple times. I always preach it. Like, doing that really drives people away that you're trying to get into the industry of anything you're trying to get them into, whether it's gaming, wrestling, MMA, sports,
gatekeeping. That's what it is. It's gatekeeping.
Yeah, like, the gatekeeping shit is like third grade level shit that somehow manifested itself into adults. And now that everybody has Twitter fingers, they use their power of gatekeeping like it's some big ass fucking thing, and You're a fucking asshole.
You're not gonna believe this clip I found from you from about 10 years ago. Nobody else knows about it except for probably most of the fucking people that talk to you.
Ah.
But yeah, this line that you said, I want to know why you said it like that. I want to look at them. There's a lot of time I want to look at.
Yeah, luckily enough, I never had anybody ask me, like, why did you use that tone? Like, they just asked me, like, hey, remember that line you made, you know, did you write that or did Aaron write that? That's probably the extent. But
oh my god, I
just imagine. I can't. One of these days, somebody's probably going to ask me too, like, well, why'd you say it in this tone and not that tone? I'll be like, one, I don't fucking remember, and second, is it important?
Why is it?
No, it's like to give the only example that I have is James and I are working on the show. We're doing all the stuff that we're doing. We're getting a random fucking message. It's like, I think 12 o'clock at night. We just finished like the wrap up of fucking Gold Rush, and we get somebody like sending us random fucking messages on Facebook, going, "Hey, quick thing, why did you design this person like this? Why is this the way that it is?" And it's like, because that's what we wanted to do. Like, the fuck's the issue?
Yeah.
You get a broom handle up your ass or something? Like,
that's one thing I've always got a kick out of when somebody asks you, well, why do you run your business the way that you run it? Because it's my business and that's how I run it. End of story.
Yeah. Honestly, we should
just
go by that.
What's the philosophy behind that? It's like, it's just what I want to do. Like,
I mean, when you get to that point where like you're confronting somebody of why they run their shit the way they run it, if you don't like it, don't fucking watch it. Start your own stuff.
I think it's one thing if the person is interested in that and they like it and like they have questions about it and I want to know more. Like, obviously, I'm going to go into explanation if you really are curious to know. Like, you know,
well, yeah, I mean, there definitely
I'll
is
be
a difference
respectful to
between,
you, right?
Yeah, a very interested person as to like why they want to know the dynamic behind it versus somebody that's like, I don't fucking like this and I want to know why you do it this way so I can convince you to do it my way. That's two different approaches.
The my way or the highway treatment. No offense, Limp Bizkit, yeah. Yeah,
and I mean, to an extent, like, I'll, with my league, like, I'll cater to people.
Right.
But at the same time, if there's something that I really, really want to do, I'm going to do it because it's my league.
Right. There are times where I have been recommended to do things that I just said flat out no to.
Hmm?
Flat out.
Like keep it to pop culture.
Yeah. Oh my god! So
that
we had a
fucking comment.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it. So we actually got our first hate comment. I call it a success because we haven't gotten a hate comment up until now. The show's been out for like fucking 2 years. So
that's how you know you made it when you got haters.
Exactly. So I'm like, I looked at the comment because I was humored enough because I was like, you know what? First hate comment. Why the fuck not? I'm not gonna look at any of these other fucking comments. So I looked at this one.
It's great though.
Oh, I looked at this one. And I'm like, I think the first thing was, you have a 8-hour show full on CAW leagues. Oh, how dare you? This is a trash idea. Stick with pop culture stuff, and
and cut the show by like 6 hours.
So in that one comment, I'm like, you know what? There's actually a legitimate point he made in this craziness. I'm like, the whole 8 hours thing. I'm like, well, you'll be happy to know we're doing shows in 2 nights, and most weekly shows are going to be 2 hours only, one night per week, give or take. And then we'll have a house show if you want to watch an extra 60 minutes, go for it. That whole thing. Go knock yourself out if you still don't want to watch. But we realized that was a problem, and we're improving on that. That's a valid criticism. His preference is obviously no DQ CAW. That was obvious. I mean, I loved it too, but we didn't want to go that route, even though we tried to.
We wanted to do something different.
Exactly, with WW. So it's like, kind of can't really meet your preference there, bud. So, sorry about that. And then the whole thing was a mistake, and you should stop while you're ahead comment was like, tell us that like 4 years ago, we still wouldn't have listened to you. So... You know,
Those are honestly my favorite comments to read.
yeah,
Because
I think the old adage is listen to people when they tell you there's a problem with what you're doing. Don't listen to them when they tell you how to fix it.
there's always a gold mine in the sea of bullshit. In other words,
Well, not only that, but I know one thing when I was in school before I switched over to communications, I was business major.
right.
One constant thing between those classes that a lot of professors would tell us is while your audience is vocal, you're okay. The time to worry is when you're not hearing anything.
Exactly.
I mean, that's the big fucking philosophy that we have
stand
taken
by.
into account
Yep.
more than any other. Is listen, yeah, we want. I don't care how many hate fucking comments, emails, death threats I get in the mail, as long as there is something there that I can grab onto and say, all right, cool, let's filter it, let's take a look at it, and see how do we make this even better than what it already was,
Exactly.
without too much of an issue.
Yeah, I think the whole thing with Wade, also you talking about technology as well. I mean, Mike and I have had our fair share of experiences with the doldrums of tech not working. Or here's another one, and this happened literally as soon as this week. We tried to record this week, and of course, because it was 97 fucking degrees out, I ended up suffering from a heat stroke. I was out of commission for so long. When I finally got energy to do it, we ended up starting to do it, and then we barely got 2 tag matches done. We tried to get a 3rd tag match done, and the thing kept fucking up and glitching, and at that point I said, you know what? Let's just stop while we're ahead. So, it was just not a good thing.
I've been there myself years ago. There was a guy who approached me and he was like, "Hey, can I get you to do commentary for one of my big mega events?" And I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, it'd be fun, to do commentary for somebody else other than my own shit and Aaron's, right?" So I agreed to do it. So he sent over the files and I was like, "When do you need this by?" And he was like, "I don't know, in 2 weeks." I'm like, "Oh, no problem. I get this done in 2 weeks, in my work ethic, like fucking, I'll get it done in 2 days, really. But it was like right in the middle of the summer, and I think we all go through this with the parents, right? The parents are like, "Don't turn the AC on unless you're fucking dying," So we didn't have the AC on, and it was fucking hot as shit. And I'm here in Southern California, so it's like
you're in the hottest shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that Wade says that because I literally have my air conditioner on right now.
Well, I got my big box fan on right here, so I'm nice and cool right now. But
I have my fan right next to my ass. I
was so freaking hot that week that I had a migraine all week. Now, you ever try to do commentary of the fucking migraine? It's impossible.
Yes, it sucks. It sucks so bad.
So, like, at the end of this first week, this dude hit me up. And he goes, "So what's the progress?" I said, "I haven't even started yet, but, I'll get it done." And he's like, "All right, well, we got 1 week left. What's the problem?" And now that was red flag number one. I'm like, "Oh, you can word it differently, right?" But I didn't say that to him. I was like, I explained to him the situation. He goes, "So what you're trying to tell me is you're not fucking getting it done right now because you're fucking warm?" I'm like,
"Oh, give me a
it's not just that I'm warm. Like, fucking take a hammer to your fucking head and try to do something. You know what I mean?"
You know what? I'm gonna do that
so
now.
much shit the second fucking week. He gave me every day. He would hit me up. He goes, "Is it done yet? Did you get your fucking AC fixed?" And I'm like, "Dude, fucking don't worry about it." So finally, like, I did it. I did the best I possibly could with it. He hits me back up. He goes, "Can you redo this part? And then you redo this part because you sound bored here. You sound bored there. You're good here. You're bored there." And I'm like, "Dude, look, with all due respect, man, like, I'm a perfectionist too. At the same time, like, you got to consider the circumstances.
You got to consider other people. Yeah, he clearly didn't.
And he was one of those kind of guys that did the longer shows. It was like a 3-hour show, and especially in like 2004, 2005, I myself was not used to those. You know what I mean? Like, I think I did like all my mega event cards had 4 matches on it. I went like 30, 40 minutes.
So Aaron's longest show. Aaron's longest show, I think, was like 1 hour and 20 minutes back then, wasn't it? There would have been domestic disturbance.
And one thing that both Aaron and I had in common with how we did our production was we never put our shows together in full and then I did the commentary over the whole thing. We would always do I do Slam and Jam, he'd do No DQ, but he would send over a match at a time or a segment at a time, and same with me, I would do a match thing at a time. I never did a full show straight on. Well, this dude gave me the 3-hour show in one file, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking doing a WWE pay-per-view over here.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It was that long?
He gave you a 3-hour file format and expected you to commentate the entire thing instead of commentating it match by match like you would a normal
Well,
CAW.
I mean, I did that myself, I did the little match by match. I would stop it, and then I would pause the video, and I would kind of jot down a notepad like this is where I left off, I did it myself like that, but he expected me to fucking do like a 3-hour fucking one take thing.
Jesus.
I mean, at that time, it was rough for me to do. You tell me to do that now, I'll do that now, because fucking, doing a decade of commentary for indie promotions out here in SoCal, it ain't nothing now for me,
Right.
You kind of slide into something.
It's one of those things you just kind of learn.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
For instance. No, go ahead, Wade. Sorry to cut you off.
No, I was just real quick. I was just gonna say, and back in the day, I needed a lot of notes on shit. This guy didn't give me notes. But you learn shit with experience, though, right? You give me something to do now. I don't care if you fucking give me no notes at all. I'll run with the fucking 3 hours. I will give you commentary now.
Which is good because you've had enough experience to do that. Where back then,
you're comfortable with that.
In both CAW and in fucking professional wrestling.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're actually going to try something similar to that, unless I'm much mistaken, for year one of WYW. What we're probably going to do is we're going to commentate it a show at a time, match by match, from start to finish, obviously with breaks in between. So that way we have more continuity in our commentary, because that's been a bit of a point of contention for us with looking back at our own work. You'll notice, like I'll give an example. You'll notice in between the semi and main events of Gold Rush, there's a huge disconnect in our commentary because we recorded the transition part separately from the actual match.
Right.
Okay.
So that, and that's just more of an audio quality thing.
Not even audio quality. You can notice it in the fact that, excuse me. You can notice it in the fact that I say something that makes no sense given what we had just done in the actual match.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's because sometimes a lot of that had to do with me editing it the way I was doing it as well, but yes. We're going to get better at that, just with experience, like you kind of like what you were saying, Wade, with commentary, that all comes with experience. But the fact that guy was literally expecting you to commentate 3 hours a show, that was the ultimate red flag. And I don't know if I would have done it at that point. I'm like, you expect me to do that, but I have no way to do it. I'll try, but there's nothing that I can do here.
I'll do what I can, but I can't do much.
It's one thing to do a 3-hour show if there's breaks in between. It's another to do a 3-hour show with 0 fucking breaks in between.
How about a freaking even an hour is a freaking bit much. I had to do one for somebody for an hour, and I wasn't gonna put my full all into that because I knew if I did, it would have been I would have shut my voice out, and I couldn't afford that, especially considering the fact I had to do commentary for my own thing. I think the next day, so I just kind of half-assed it, but I did do it. It just I couldn't do it at my full potential because it's an hour show, and I had no notes on the thing, so I'm just commentating what I see. Which is what you're supposed to do.
And there's a lot of other factors can go into this as well too. There is a major difference from commentating CAW and commentating actual professional wrestling, because with CAW, it's a linear thing, right? Whatever happens in the game, you react to, you call the action. If you're at a show and you're doing it, you play off of the crowd's responses. You play off of facial expressions from the wrestlers. You don't get that with CAW. Not only that, but if you're doing solo commentary versus having a broadcast partner, that's a major difference too.
Yeah. There is so much you have to play on in a live. There is so much you have to play with in a live action wrestling show. I almost said live action CAW show.
I mean,
listen to my dumbass. But yeah, there's so much you have to play off in live action at the snap of a finger to make it all cohesive and entertaining and sensible. That is a learned skill that takes years of practice. I have so much respect for people who do that, especially by themselves. I can
Joey
give you a
Styles, Mauro Ranallo, Jim Ross,
Joey
Tony
Styles,
Schiavone.
Joe Cronin for local boys.
True.
You know what's funny? There was an indie show that was working back in, I want to say it was the end of 2013. When I got to the building, my broadcast partner wasn't there. And he had called in, told the booker, he goes, I'm not going to be able to make it. This was like well before call time too. So like we still had like 2.5, 3 hours till the show. And so,
so he at least gave proper notice.
Oh, big time. This guy's a professional. This guy's been in the business since like the fucking early 90s.
Okay.
I learned a lot from this guy. The expert Matt Sinister, that for anybody out there wondering. Phenomenal talent, great talent in the ring, even better
amazing.
on the mic.
That's
I
amazing.
loved working with Matt Sinister.
The expert Matt Sinister, that was his name?
Yes.
I'm going to have to look this guy up.
Yeah, he's good shit.
During his training, he spent a little time up in the dungeon too with the Hearts.
Yep.
No shit.
Yeah, he was one of the few. I think he might have been one of the last graduates of the '90s era.
Yeah, when like Bruce was still running things up there and whatnot.
Right.
Some of the, I know this is like way going off the side here, but that's what we do, right? But one of the funniest and coolest things I've ever seen back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Matt Sinister, he had a feud with Mr. Excitement down here in SoCal. I think they had some matches like in
We're not talking about Don West, right?
No.
Okay.
We're also not talking about John Caterer, so put your dick away, James.
I'm well aware. I said Don West. Did you hear me say Jonathan Caterer, my CAW commentating character, Casey? No. I didn't say that.
He did say Mr. Excitement.
He did, yep. Or I did, yeah. Anyway, so they had some good shit that they did in like Rough Pro. They down at the Anaheim Marketplace, which, oh my God, you want to talk about a hot crowd. The Anaheim Marketplace in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Electric.
Holy shit, man. Those guys.
XPW ran a lot of shows in that freaking venue. I know of them.
Yeah.
That's why XPW mainly stayed in that venue.
Yeah. But going back to my original stories, when I got to that show, he had called up. He said I wasn't going to be there. And I remember the booker, he came up to me and he goes, yeah, so Matt's not going to be here tonight. We're going to try to, we're going to ask around. We're going to find somebody in the back, to come out and help you out with it. And I go, dude, this is my opportunity. I've been waiting for this since I started like fucking 3 years ago to ask about this. And, this is like, we would run like little cities out here in SoCal, but our main city was like Covina. Like that was like our Raw, and all the other ones were like little house shows kind of thing, right? Like Covina, if everything was good in Covina, everything was good no matter what. The other little cities, San Bernardino, Beaumont, Redlands, shit like that, we would test things. We would just kind of just give the people a show. And so I understood it at that time, and I told the booker, I said, I've been waiting for 3 years to do this. Hear me out on it. Let me do solo commentary tonight. And he's like, dude, you're not built for solo commentary. And I thought to myself, I said, man, if this dude only fucking knew what I did in No DQ CW, where
I was about to say, you should have just used that as a reference at that point. Like, motherfucker, boom.
No DQ ring any bells?
Nah, with all due respect to CAW, what we've all done, that would have been laughed out of the building if I would have said, listen to my cartoon wrestling shit,
Yeah, that's fair.
Because the wrestling bubble, right? They don't fucking look at that as any experience, which that's how I got my fucking job. was that experience.
Exactly.
But anyway, he thought about it for a minute. He goes, yeah, I don't know. You're not built for that shit. She's like, he told me I wouldn't be a good heel too, right? But fucking, he tells me this, and I go, just give me a shot, dude. I'm like, we're not even in San Bernardino, man. We're in fucking Beaumont. Like, we're gonna be here again in like what, 3 fucking months? Like, they're not gonna fuck these. Huh?
What do you got to lose?
Exactly. I'm like, dude, like, and you know, I'm also doing like, I do production, right? So I was doing the video production, the DVDs, YouTube videos at the time, and I'm like, dude, not only am I doing commentary, I'm gonna be fucking editing this shit. If it's shit, I'll just fucking like have Matt come over to my house. We'll just fucking redo it. Because like at that time when I came in to do production, they were doing it old school. They would plug the mic into the hard cam. Yeah. And I'm like, why are you doing that? If the commentary fucks up, you know how hard it's going to be to get the audio out? So I started bringing my sound recorder, my field recorder. We would record commentary onto that. So if we needed to fix commentary, it's its own separate audio track. Yep. So I told him, I said, dude, if we, you know, if you don't like it, Matt will come over to my house. I've got the fucking equipment. I've got the mixing boards. I got the mics, because all the fucking audio equipment used on the shows when I started were mine. You know, like I took them from like 1970 to fucking, you know, 2013.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And,
that's the longevity there.
Well, you know, it's funny though, because it's like, you know, ever since I was there and, you know, long after I left, I'd taken my break, you know, I could see the influence that I've left, right? From when I came in, there was 5 people doing a lot of jobs. By the time that I left, I was the one person doing those 5 jobs. That's the work ethic that I had. Work smarter, not harder.
Yep, indeed.
And
I agree.
that night, I did solo commentary, and I personally had a blast with it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love doing commentary with somebody else you bounce shit off of, but there are certain situations you get yourself into, certain shows that you're working to, and if you got a smaller crowd, it gets a little fucking tedious, so you just kind of want to just get through it. And that night was perfect. It was the perfect storm. So I did my commentary, and I put everything together, and I sent it over to him like a week later, and he calls me up one night, and he's like, dude, like, this commentary is really good.
Where did you learn how to do this?
Yeah, and I'm like, well, thank you so much. He goes, I have a question. Don't take this the wrong way. How come you don't do this kind of commentary with Matt? And I said, with all due respect to Matt, he gets in my way. I know that sounds like the most fucking arrogant fucking statement in the world, right?
It's
but like,
true.
I'm a little bit more comfortable doing solo.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Wait,
he hears this.
True.
No, I told him the story. You know.
Oh, okay. So he's already.
Oh.
So he's already
So,
aware. Okay.
so he's aware of the
right.
no DQ at this point when you after you've done the commentary. Then.
Oh no, I don't even think to this day that the fucking booker still knows that I did anything with CAW. Because, you know, it's funny because like I remember when I came in to this promotion, they already had a commentary team, and I'm not the kind of person that's going to come in and just like play politics and take somebody's shit, right? So I said I'll make my own position. So at that time in 2010, I came up with the idea, and I said, hey, look, I've got the technology to do this. I would love to do this for you guys. I would love to come in to your Covina shows and do a live video stream of your shows. And they were like, that's a great idea. And I was like, and I'll do the commentary for it. Like, you got 2 separate things, right? So like, you know, if you're watching the live stream and you got their commentary team to it, what's the difference between that and the DVDs? People aren't going to buy the DVDs. So if you put me on there and they want to hear the real commentary, they're going to buy the DVD. So it's also a marketing ploy. You're getting a preview, but you want the official shit, you still got to buy it. And they fucking bought that idea. And they were like, this is genius. We're going to have this guy come in. It's going to be free promotion. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is fucking great for me because I'm coming in. I'm making my own position. I'm getting involved in actual wrestling now.
Everybody wins.
And everybody wins. And the first stream, like a couple days after that, I got the call from that booker. And he was like, you're good. You've never worked a wrestling show before? And I said, I have never worked a live event before. And he goes, really? This was your first time ever on commentary? And I said, I never said that. He goes, but I don't get it. He goes, you said your first live event. I said, yeah, it's your first live event. It's not my first time doing commentary. And he just could not wrap his head around the wording of that.
Yeah.
And I did the second stream, and I had my buddy DA with me. And fucking, like, they were just blown away. They were like, who are these fuckers that came out of nowhere and fucking deliver the commentary that they deliver at this caliber. Who are these people?
Yep.
I'm like, do your research, fucker.
The simple answer: we're marks.
Yeah, there you go.
I've had years of practice.
It-
You know, people want to look down at stuff like CAW and shit. That shit got me my job in wrestling.
That's
Yeah,
why
it's a
I'm
great-
gonna change that, man. I have to.
It's a great fucking foothold to get into the industry to understand how shit works.
Yeah.
And you turn heads if they don't know about you. You deliver top notch shit too.
Exactly. And that's another thing.
Indeed.
I feel like you need. That's why I feel like, this whole wrestling bubble thing. Like, it's like the whole. It's like the same method of the whole gatekeeping. And I've always thought this about. Right. This is why I appreciate, even if you're not a fan of everything he does, and I've had my fair share of criticism of, Tony Khan in recent years, but he's not going through the wrestling bubble. He's taking every and all idea from every aspect of entertainment and trying to implement it into something for his television product, his wrestling shows, his sports entertainment product, whatever you want to call it.
And that is vitally important.
I like that. He's not looking down upon anything mostly. He's not, acting like a big ass snob or like.
And you know why he's doing it? And you know why he's doing it that way? Because he's not in the bubble.
Exactly.
He doesn't come from in the bubble.
And that's what and to me, it's like, when it comes to the CAW thing, and this kind of segues back to that, CAW should be looked at more as, if done correctly, if done with all the passion, with all the intelligence, with all the know-it-all, to do it at a high level, then who's to say you can't do that with an actual pro wrestling show?
Wade Needham is living proof.
Wade Needham's living proof.
I got one better for you on that one, okay? It's the entertainment industry, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, certain people would go in, they try out for like movies or music, try to get a record label to sign them and whatnot, and they wouldn't have that much success for it, right? But then came along a thing called YouTube.
Yes.
And people that you normally wouldn't give the time of day, like Taylor Swift or Justin Bieber. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, wrestling should be taking the same approach, but they're not.
And
So
that's why it's gone
if you can't
down.
get a spot, if you can't get your own, you get a spot in a company, you just start creating your own content and you get a following. And look at what happened. All these people that like did stuff for like AfterBuzz TV and stuff, right? Look at the track record of people with AfterBuzz TV getting signed to the WWE. Kathy Kelly and several other people, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Minus Josh Tariff, but that's a whole different story there. I love you, Josh. I'm just fucking with you, buddy. No, I'm not.
Whoa. But no.
Shot.
Yeah, or people might know him better as Christian Rosenberg, which was a name given to him by Chris Kloss and a bunch of other people.
Is he going by Peter Rosenberg, or is that his brother?
No. Two separate guys. Peter Rosenberg's got talent.
That's true. So does
All right.
Anyway, sorry. Next
Josh,
question.
I remember when everybody at PWG, when he was reffing there for a short period of time, all the fans used to call him young Bob Backlund.
Yeah, actually, I swear I was hearing the story.
Dude fucking looked like Howdy Doody because he get embarrassed, his face would turn bright red.
Oh my gosh.
Like a beet.
Like a fucking tomato.
We said somebody else looked like Bob Backlund at one point too. Like that, I don't know why that just reminded me of that.
I think it was Cena actually.
Oh yeah, Cena at a specific angle looks like a modern day Bob Backlund with muscle. If you really think about it.
Especially with that fucking hair he's got.
Oh yeah, big time. The military crew cut, yeah, big time.
But like the hair he's got now, where he's growing it out, he looks like a big kid.
Because that's what he's always been, dude.
He really has. He's never strayed away from that. Anyway, Casey, sorry. Next question.
My apologies.
Right,
It's fine. I like this, to be honest. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, right. Yep. Okay. So this will be a good one for all you guys. What are you most proud of from your respective CAW leagues? Mike, we'll start with you.
The fact that I'm not in crippling debt because of it.
Right. That's fair. You know what? Round of applause. Yeah. Where's Mae Young Sam when you need him?
I got a feeling that's a shot at somebody and very, very specific, right?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Because I know somebody that went in a major debt over CAW.
No.
Are you fucking serious?
No.
I'm not kidding, bro. I'm not kidding at all. Let's just say that they missed. Like, I don't want to name anybody, and I this might be so specific that if I say it, it may fucking like, and not many people I guess know about it. But let's just say they blew a fucking inheritance that they got. And dwindled it to nothing.
Get. No. Listen, okay. I'll be the first one to tell you that I bought Casey a laptop for his fucking birthday, about $800.
Which I'm actually using.
Which you're actually using. And
yes.
All you need now is like better mic quality, and I'll be able to be friends with you.
Wow.
Get fucked.
Oh, you're saying that, but you're literally talking to us over a phone, Mike. You're talking shit.
Oh, I know. Hey, listen, I'm talking shit because I can, and nobody's
and you know what? The fact that he's doing it over a phone is what makes it even funnier.
That is
Mike
fair.
doesn't have a mic.
It's
a tattoo of tattoo.
I mean, if you want to hear Mike have a mic, listen to Open Mic Nights, which is coming back. Cheap plug. Mike, continue.
You know, after that, I don't think I want to. That was rough. That was rough, dude. I thought, like, for a second, you had a point going there, and it's fucking gone. Whatever it was, it's gone.
Well, did you have... what was your... That's where we go back to your original point you were saying.
So, that being, like, said as a whole piece, is, like, we've dropped money into doing what we're doing.
But when we could.
But don't fucking put yourself in crippling debt because you're like, I just really want to see Superman fight Mr. Clean. No, don't fucking put yourself in crippling debt over a CAW league. There's no point. They're fucking...
The whole point of doing... the whole point of doing a CAW league is to use... as little resources as possible while making the most out of those resources. I think you could probably apply that same logic to anything, but especially CAW. CAW literally is operated best with a shoestring budget anyway. Honest to God.
Because
I don't know, man. I got a lot of shoestrings. No way I can make that work.
Hey, first 2 years of Slam and Jam was done with Movie Maker.
There you go. First 2 years of WYW
was done
was
with Movie Maker for the first year too.
Yeah, the first 2 years of WYW was done with Movie Maker.
Yeah, my first Slam and Jam show was a webcam pointed in front of my TV. It wasn't until like the second or third show I got a capture card.
And then somebody bought this guy a freaking subscription to Cyberlink.
Yeah, my mom. Literally everything that I run WYW on, with the exception of Casey Zelgado and his laptop that Mike just got him, is literally Christmas gifts.
Nice.
That's all it is. WYW literally started on December 20th. Why do you think it started? Thank my mom. Thank my stepdad. Thank my dad. Thank my uncle. Thank my other uncle. Thank my third uncle. Thank everything. Thank everybody.
Your family has to stop having so many fucking kids. Oh my god.
This family tree needs trimming.
Oh god.
Whoa. Wow.
Oh no.
You know what? I the only thing I regret about that line is I didn't say it as Bobby Spade.
Oh yeah, that should be the only regret. If you don't commit to the bit, what's the point of the bit? You know?
Exactly.
You know, in recent years of me not doing the Bobby Spade character as much, like that humor is actually coming out as myself for the first time. So.
Oh my God! You don't fall into the Vince McMahon trap. Once you go to the gimmick, it can never come out.
That's a good question to ask any entertainer. Where does the person stop and the character begin?
Usually between 4 and 5 o'clock.
And a couple of drinks.
And if you go to the dentist
somewhere,
and if you go to the dentist 2:30,
hey, listen,
if
it's fucking happy hour somewhere in the world.
Yep.
if you go to the dentist, it's 2:30, and if you're Paul Turner, it's 2 at Turner Network Television.
Oh my God,
specifically an
Wade,
appointment
we
for
meet-
Warner Media.
Oh my God, Wade, James and I memed Paul Turner so hard during Double or Nothing.
For some
The
reason,
poor guy.
the poor guy's named after the fucking network they're on.
Hi, my name is Paul Turner. You'll never guess what broadcast I'm on. Is it Fox? It's not Fox.
It's not Fox.
It's not.
It's damn
should be
sure
Fox.
not Fox.
It's
That'd
TNT.
be fucking funny if AEW. Listen, the day AEW goes to Fox, I cannot wait for their budget to be cut by like half.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly
But,
what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the funny thing about that is, restriction breeds creativity.
True. That's actually fair.
That's a 50-50 case. Restriction can, give creativity unless you're just not fucking creative.
That's true.
yeah.
You have to be creative in order to use the restriction.
Hey, listen,
Sink or swim.
as long as you fucking, I ain't taking a swim. But that ain't happening. me getting in a bathing suit right now, not gonna happen.
Yeah, same. I don't have that beach bod. I don't even have like that semi fat bod. I got like
you got that
quarantine
James,
pouch.
James, you got that beach bod. You got that beached whale bod.
Yeah.
I got the weird science bod. You guys ever seen Chet at the end of that one?
Jesus.
Like 300 pounds of chewed bubble gum.
Oof. I'm terribly sorry for you, Wade. Jesus.
I'm sorry for your loss.
I was literally about to say that, but I'm like,
It fucking Slimer.
I was gonna say that, but I don't think Wade lost anything. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Wade.
if
Don't hate
Slimer
me.
wasn't fucking green, that'd be me, man.
Jeez.
Fucking slam and jam my skull up against the ground. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
fucking hell.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right.
next.
Well, we still kind of got to go to Wade.
Yeah. What?
So.
What was
I forgot what the question was.
Yeah, same.
What are you most proud of from your CAW leagues?
There's no notes for this, guys. Come on, no. My proudest moment?
Yeah. What are you most proud of from your respective CAW leagues?
It'd probably coincide with my favorite moments, and that's the friendships I've made.
Yeah,
I'm very, very proud of the connections I've made with people.
I agree. That's fair enough.
That is absolutely fair.
I've had a lot of dark days in my life.
We all have.
More recently than ever before, but you never know who you touch. You never know who you reach. Who sees your stuff? What changes you've ever made in somebody's life?
Jesus Christ, Mike! Come on, let him get the point across. Don't do the priest line.
Right? There
Who you touch?
there was a kid that came up to me at one of the shows I worked out here in SoCal, and he came up to me and he remembered me from No DQ CAW.
That's crazy.
Was this actually with XPW?
No.
XPW.
No, he didn't work for XPW. I just said XPW case as an example because they ran the same arena that Wade's company run. He did not work for XPW because I know Wade has standards.
That was way before my time too. XPW. I got in the business at the very, very end of 2010. Yeah. So I think Rob Black and Lizzie Borden, I think, were already even doing time by the time I got in the business too. Oof. But anyway, you never know who you're gonna reach. There was a kid that came up to me sometime I can't remember, it was like 2014, I think it was, at one of the shows I worked at, the EWF, ran by Jesse Hernandez. He came up to me and he goes, dude, Jesse's been promoting since 1996, longest running Southern California promotion.
Well, now
it's
I know
like an
it was a legitimate thing.
It's somewhat of an offshoot from when Jesse was working for LaBelle in the 80s and whatnot.
Right.
And he was the contact for Vince, when they would come out to SoCal, they would have some of the WWF guys, but then they needed local guys, enhancement talent. Right. Jesse was like the big contact for that. Jesse, he refereed for Vince from, I want to say 1986 to 97.
You know, he refereed for them. But this kid come up to me and he goes, dude, no DQ CAW was one of the favorite things I ever watched when I was a kid. Seeing you here at the shows, seeing you make it, it's great stuff. It inspired me to want to get into wrestling. And I was like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Like how local the reach got on that one. And then years later, in 2017, when I was at Cal State San Bernardino living in the dorms, I was like maybe a 20-minute bus ride to the school of Hard Knocks. So like every fucking Tuesday and Wednesday after classes, I get my shit together, grab some dinner, get on the bus, and go to training until like 9 p.m. when they close shop. And I went in one night, and it was like the second or third time after I moved into the dorm. And before that, it'd been maybe a year since I'd been there. And I get in there, and guys in the ring, when somebody comes in, they kind of stop what they're doing real quick. They put their hand out, you shake your hand. It's a big thing in wrestling still, is the handshake. Regardless of what people will tell you, it's still a big fucking thing in wrestling, okay?
The worker's handshake?
The worker's handshake. Well, I mean, not just the hard fucking handshake, just the handshake in general. Respect is a big fucking thing in the locker room. So I come in, and I'm circling around the ring, and everybody's fucking handshaking and whatnot. And I go up to El Jefe, Jesse Hernandez, big man on campus, right? Go up, and I'm shooting the shit with him for a little bit. And then this one dude comes around, gets out of the ring, comes up to me, and he goes, yo, your name is Wade, right? And I was like, yeah, what's up? And he goes, Wade Needham? I go, yeah. He goes, no DQ CAW. And I was like, wow, yeah. Because it caught me off guard, right? And I had never seen this kid at training before. And I guess he had started, during that year. And he goes, dude, me and my fucking brother used to fucking love no DQ CAW growing up, dude. And now I had like two different emotions going right then and there. I was one, shocked. And second, I was like, fuck, I'm old. Because he said when he was a kid, and I'm like, God damn, dude, I'm not that fucking old, bro. And dude, that made me happy by the end of the night, man. And then like we were out there bullshit for a little bit. And I kid you not, this dude to that day never knew that me and Bobby Spade were the same dude. And I didn't know that. Wow. So as I'm leaving to go catch the bus and saying bye to everybody, I shake his hand and I was like, hey, Beefy Tate's there. You stay in the ring, you're going to be a big fucking deal, Dude, you would have thought you told a kid Santa Claus didn't exist. This fucking dude was like, what the fuck? And at that moment, I was like, oh, he didn't know. Shit.
Yeah, I can guarantee you, I can see the look on his face. Eyes bugging out of his head, all the color drained out of his face. Nearly got a brown stain in his ass.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, he probably went under the name Skid Mark after that, right?
Oh,
but anyway.
Wow.
No, but I just remember like a couple of training sessions after that, like we would bullshit a little bit. And I was, still taking my break at that time. And he was like, dude, like, I hope that you're back calling the action when I make my debut. And I told him, I said, well, I'll tell you what, dude, like, no matter what, during this break, you let me know when your debut is. And I'll hit up the booker. I'll hit up Jesse too. And I will request that I do commentary on that show. Obviously, it didn't happen. I can't remember. I might have been out of town during that time, but eventually I got to work one of the San Bernardino shows where this dude had worked his way up the card. He was working the main event that night, and I was on commentary. And
so you got to call his first main event match?
Yeah, I got to call his first main event match there in San Bernardino.
Oh, man, he must have been happy as a pig in shit.
Well, right before that match started, I leaned over to the dude I was doing commentary with, Brian White, who's a phenomenal talent, too, by the way.
Nice.
And I leaned over to Brian, and I said, hey, I don't do this the whole time I've been here in EWF. I have never done this before, but in this one match, there's going to be some stuff that I'm going to say that you're going to be like, what the fuck? Just either roll with it or just pretend like I never said it. I'm doing this for Honest John, which is his wrestling name. I said, I'm going to do this for Honest John. He goes, all right, whatever, man. I was like, just trust me on this, bro. And so Honest John comes out, and we're kind of getting into, doing the commentary, really getting into it, fucking putting on a really good match. And then I'm like, all right, now it's time.
So I start throwing. I didn't do the voice, but I started throwing out some Bobby Spade lines. Then I started throwing in some no DQ references a little bit and all that shit. And by the end of the night, we finished everything up. Guy next to me, Brian White's like, "What the fuck was that? Like, why were you telling everybody how to put together a fucking sandwich?" And I'm like, "Just trust me on this, bro." And he's
trust me.
yeah, and he's like, "I've heard like the term like crimson mask before, but I've never heard anybody say they look like somebody busted a jar of strawberry jelly on their face."
Oh my god!
I'm like,
oh my
yeah.
god, that's a way to describe that.
And then he asked me another question that I will never forget this fucking night. This was the greatest fucking night. He goes, "Who the fuck loses a first blood match by rubbing their forearm on somebody's face?" I said, "Trust me, I've seen it before." And there was other ones. I think I might have even asked him, "Have you ever eaten a bulldog?" It's just straight up bullshit. And then like the greatest one of all, he was like, "I don't know what this means, but I'm going to use it from now on as the greatest insult ever. But a fucking jilly jacker?"
Jilly jacker? Hey, yo, it's a jilly jacket. I fucking love that line. Oh my god.
I get all my equipment put away and everything, and I go in the back to say my bye.
Jilly jacker is a play on slobber knocker, right?
No, actually, jilly jacker. Actually, I started saying that my sophomore year of high school. That was it was pretty much me calling somebody a fucking idiot, like a dipshit, you fucking jilly jacker, there was different things I tried. Huh?
That makes sense why Bobby was saying it to every face known to man.
yeah. Well, it eventually started to turn into like how the Smurfs, they'd be like, "Oh, this dinner is so Smurf," like it just became like a word you pop in for anything, like positive or negative.
That's fair.
Yeah.
And that's what I started, eventually evolving Jilly Jacker into. But I went to the back. I was saying goodbye to everybody, shaking their hands, and Honest John comes running up to me and he goes, "Bro, so glad you were here. You did commentary tonight?" And I was like, "I did commentary tonight." He goes, "How'd it go?" I said, "Just for you, buddy, I will send you your match when I'm done editing it." Like, I never did that for anybody else because I was always specifically told if somebody asks you for their match, tell them to buy the fucking DVD. And while I don't agree with that philosophy, if the person I'm working for tells me to do something, if it's not unethical, I'm going to do my job. But I told Honest John, I said, give me a couple of days, I'll send you your match. And I put it all together, and I usually I work, card up, opening the main event. I edited that match first, sent it over to him. And I just remember like the fucking feedback that he gave me on that shit, bro. He was like fucking popping like crazy. He's like, "This is a dream come true."
He marked out.
Yeah, he goes, I would have never fucking, in my wildest dreams would have never fucking thought, one, I'd even be in the ring, and second, that you would fucking call one of my matches.
That's a great moment, bro.
I'm like, that's for you, bro. Like, thank you so much for coming up to me and fucking saying no DQ at training. Like, that fucking brought a lot of memories back.
That's awesome. That's phenomenal.
Oh man, that is insanity.
And it's funny. Last year's run of Slam and Jam, before I went into my hiatus, I made an Honest John CAW and used him in Slam and Jam a little bit, and he fucking thought that was like the greatest thing in the world.
Oh man, that's fucking great.
Oh man.
I will get. Let me give my answer to
that. Just blows my mind.
Let me give my answer.
Small world.
Similar to, because I need to hear your question again, in case, but I have to actually stop recording and keep recording after I stop it because memory issues. So give me 1 second, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes part 2 of the interview with Wade Needham. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am bringing it to you. We are all having a blast talking CAW and wrestling in general. If you guys are listening to this on the long version, check out Wrestling with Idiocy on Luke Lynch's channel. If you are listening to the parts version, the elongated part, the elongated video upload will be uploaded next weekend along with part 3 on this very channel. The elongated podcast format will be on my channel, just so that way it gets some promotion. And for now, we'll see you guys next episode for the conclusion of this historic interview. Take care, guys.